In this video, I would like to show you another important thing about syllables. Let's look at this sentence. We completed our lesson. Now, if we take each word and cut it into syllables, we will probably agree that the word we is one syllable. We. Completed sounds like three syllables, and I think we would divide them here between these two consonants. Completed. This is the suffix ed. So we have 1, 2, 3 syllables. We completed our lesson. Our really sounds like two syllables. Our. But it's not. It's just one. And the word lesson sounds like two syllables. Lesson. And we would cut them between the two consonants in the middle. Okay, so that gets us started. Now, what I want to talk to you about in this quick lesson is how some of the vowels in English, in American English, get changed because Americans speak English in kind of a lazy way. That's the best way I can describe it. If you compare Americans to the way the English in England speak English, it's different. And I don't know why, but Americans speak English in a different way, and I call it a more lazy way. So let's take a look at what happens to this vowel, this O, this E, and this O. So in words that have more than one syllable, there's going to be more force on one of the syllables than the other syllables. So let's take a look at how this works. We're looking for words that have more than one syllable. Okay, that's this word because it has 3, and that's this word because it has 2. So if I were a robot, my voice would never change. This is how I might read this sentence if I were a robot. We completed our lesson. But I'm not a robot. I'm an American. So this is how I read this sentence. We completed our lesson. And if you listen carefully, you can hear how my voice kind of swallows up some of the vowels, especially if it's a short vowel, in a syllable that doesn't get a lot of force. Completed. This O and this E, I'm being kind of lazy about the way I say them. This is a short O, and that makes the sound ah. So I should say this syllable calm, ah, calm. This is a long E. Completed. But the O and the E, because I'm a lazy speaker, they get kind of swallowed up. You don't really hear them very clearly. Completed. You see, I put most of the force on this syllable right here. Completed. Completed. We completed. So what happens when this syllable gets so much of the force? In American English, these other syllables get much less of the force of my voice. And so what happens in these two syllables, the O and the E get kind of swallowed up. Completed. And you can hardly even hear what kind of a vowel they are. Is this really an O? Is this really an E? Completed. And let's look at this word. It only has two syllables. Maybe it's easier to hear it in this word. Lesson. So this first syllable gets most of the force in our voice. Lesson, lesson. So what happens to the vowel in this syllable? This syllable is not getting very much of the force. And this O begins to get swallowed up. You can hardly even tell what letter it is when you hear me say the word. You hear the short E in this syllable, less. But right here, the second syllable, I kind of swallow up. I kind of gobble up this short O. Lesson. You can hardly tell. Is it an O? Is it an I? Is it an E? And so this, what I'm describing here, actually has a name. We give these vowels, the vowels in the unaccented syllables are called schwa sounds. Schwa. So this is a short E, this is a short O, this is a short O, but not really. So if you go look these words up in the dictionary, you will see a symbol in the dictionary that does not match short O, short E, and short O. It's what you'll find is a symbol in the pronunciation that looks like this. And yes, it looks like an upside down backwards E, but it's the symbol they use to tell you about this sound in American English, the schwa sound. Okay, so you see why it's important to know about syllables, because when you have words that have more than one syllable in each word is going to get most of the force, and the other syllables will get less. And so in those other syllables, you will be hearing, a lot of the time, you'll be hearing the vowel turn into this schwa sound. And a schwa sound is kind of any short vowel that gets swallowed up. It makes a very fast, unaccented sound. Almost like a little tiny grunt. Lesson, lesson. Complete, 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 completed. And that's my last lesson to you about syllables and vowel sounds. I thought you'd want to know about this thing called the schwa sound.